Among other things, arm wrestling requires pronation. It requires immense wrist and finger flexion, often called cupping. It requires a lot of back strength by dragging your opponent's hand away from them and closer to you. And of course, it requires a lot of elbow flexion, biceps, and brachialis. Oh, and radial deviation, aka riser. Don't forget about that one. I often see posts on places like Reddit saying they don't have access to a gym or can't make it that day, maybe they're snowed in, and they want some advice for home workouts. So in this video, I'm going to show you some exercises you can do using just a martial arts belt to hit all of those fundamentals we just went over. Now, very important, I put loops on both ends of the belt using this guide here, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. So afterwards, your belt will look like this on both ends of it, right? 2 loops right there. Okay, as for setup, I put one of the knots over the top of the door and then close the door. And importantly, you want to find a door that doesn't even open in the direction towards you. That way you don't have to worry about it happening in the middle of your exercise. All right, and our first exercise is going to be rows here. When you first start your workout, you're full of glycogen, you're full of energy, so you want to hit your big compound exercises here. So you can see I keep my body square, which is also going to train my core. In slow controlled motions, I let myself out and then row myself in just like I'm doing a lat drag on the table in an arm wrestling match. Okay, next up we have a hammer curl, and you can see the way I'm holding the knot. It's actually putting downward force on my wrist, which is going to help me train my riser during this exercise. And of course I'm hitting my brachialis, my elbow flexors, all in the process. Same deal, keeping my shoulders square. Gonna switch arms here, keep that core engaged, keep those shoulders squared, slow and controlled movements, and there you go. You're training your posting, you're training your riser and elbow flexion. Next up, let's talk wrist and finger flexion. You can see only my fingers are through the loop here, and I'm getting that finger flexion. I'm training my wrist flexion in the process. My wrist really wants to kick back here, but I'm not letting it. And I want to note here that for all of these exercises, because it's suspension training, you can scoot your feet forward to put more load on your arm in this case. So I'm pretty heavy. I don't have to scoot my feet that far in to get a lot of force onto my fingers, but you may have to. Just find that spot that's good for you. You really want to look for about an 8 out of 10 intensity. There's a scale called the ratings of perceived exertion, 1 to 10 scale. Basically, how hard are you exerting yourself? You want to be in that 8 zone, right? Any higher, you're risking injury for not that much more benefit. Any lower, and you're not sending a strong enough signal to your body that something needs to change, aka build some muscle. Okay, next up we have a more traditional bicep curl. You can see that my hand is through the loop. I have a nice grip. I let it out, and then I come back in. Nothing crazy here, just a lot of bicep action going on, but I'm still keeping my body nice and straight. I could just relax my core and let my hips kind of fall inward, but I'm not letting that happen. Of course, we're gonna switch sides here, and you can see it again. I keep my core nice and tight, let the arm go out, and then bring it right on in. Okay, let's switch it up here. I threaded the belt through the top loop of a backpack, and all you have to do is find the heaviest crap you can and stuff it in the backpack, and then you can do things like bent over rows, right? Let it out, pull that scapula back and in. I like to do a little pause at the top, and again, you're looking for about that 8 out of 10 for the ratings of perceived exertion. So go outside, find some heavy rocks, bricks, fill a jug of water, whatever you want and can find to get to that 8 out of 10 sweet spot. By the way, as for repetitions, I'm just doing a few reps to demonstrate the exercise. You can do whatever reps fit into the program you're currently doing. I don't like prescribing a number of reps because it should vary, right? You want to do things in periodization style, right? One block of X amount of reps, then switch it up, keep the body guessing. That's one of the key components to continuously progressing. Keep the body wondering what's going on. Building muscle, building strength is a survival function. So as soon as your body feels like, oh, we got this, we do this all the time, it's not going to adapt in the same way as if you throw a new stimulus at it. By the way, you can also do these bent over rows with 2 hands. What about pronation, I hear you cry out? Well, I got you. You're going to put just your thumb through the loop here, get it right around the nice fat part of your thumb. Let your hands supinate as you go out, and then as you come in, pronate with it, right? Slow and controlled movements here. Pronated position, slowly supinate as my arm goes out, and pronate as I bring it back in. Everyone say hello to shoes at the bottom there. And of course, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side. You can see only my thumb is through it, my palm is facing me, and then I pronate through. Another fun one with the backpack, we're gonna do a hammer curl into some supination at the top, right? You can see at the very top, I turn my wrists out, get some nice supination, and again, you wanna have slow and controlled movements, and of course have your spotter at the bottom there. By the way, you hear me say slow and controlled a lot. There is a time and place for fast and explosive movements, like the clean and jerk, which I love doing, but that's for another video. You also don't want your house to look like this at the end of your workout. One more note, you can put the belt in the center of the door instead of over the top, and do pretty much all the same lifts, just at a totally different angle, which will be a new stimulus for your body. There's a lot more to cover, so if you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments, and maybe we can do a part 2. It's just amazing what you can do with simply a belt. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please top roll that like button and subscribe to catch all my future content. I put out multiple new videos every week, and I will see you in the next one.